Today's titled The Mind Game. Want to play? You want to play? Okay. You said yes, so here we go. Well, I'm going to give you some background, as I like to do, of how I got here with this, all right? So I grew up in Southern California, namely the Antelope Valley, where the deer, but sadly the antelope, don't play. The deer, yeah, sometimes. But according to local historians, the antelope did roam the Antelope Valley, but that was in about 1900. It was before my time. The climate was very hot and very dry, and lots of wind, and the landscaping was cactus, Joshua trees, lots of tumbleweeds. Lawns were uncommon. Why? Because they rarely survived. Pretty desolate by all appearances. Seems the most hardy survivors were the land tortoise, the beetles, not the group, the beetles, horned toads, and snakes. I soon learned that a king snake was my friend. What an appropriate name, the king snake. Above all the rest was my friend. So once a year in the spring, like here this year, the rainfall brought out a lot of things. One was always the first sign of spring when I heard the toads. The hibernating toads would rise up from their burrows for the purpose of reproduction. Very short window of time, because as soon as it began to dry up again, they would go back underground. That was their survival mode. That was their intuitive nature. The wildflowers were beautiful, and I noticed this year the California poppy fields are just ablaze. Louise knows. Yeah. It was an awe-inspiring climate to grow up in, a desert community, but also to realize that it was not at all dead. It was not dead. That there was life just below the surface, which was waiting for the right and perfect opportunity and conditions to show up. Tortoise, snakes, and beetles, oh my, not the most fun to play with. There were no malls or cell devices then. That was a long time ago. The only things that we neighborhood kids had for fun, which was all we knew, bicycles, and outdoor activities that were left to our creative imagination. No other diversions, just our own minds. Well, so one activity that we did do as kids, and there might be a couple of folks here that are in my generation, we did have a game called Drop the Hanky. Anybody? We're not going to play that today. Yeah. All you need is a group, form a circle. One's got the hanky. Very simple. And you kind of go around the circle, and then quite unobtrusively, you're supposed to drop it behind somebody and not let them know. But as soon as they know, they chase you. And the idea is to get around and back into their place. Sort of a tag you're it kind of a game. My favorite, though, now and it was then, was a game called Monopoly. Who's played Monopoly ever? Yeah, and there's been new versions, and there's even a local, I think one for Chico has its own Monopoly game. So for me, the game where you roll the dice, move around the board, landing on an opportunity. Sometimes you had to go to jail without collecting your $200. That always frustrated me. However, there was an opportunity in the game. We could buy, we could rent, and then we could pick a card, couldn't we? There was a lot of strategy and a lot of thinking in that game. Little did I realize it was my intro to science of mind. Picking and choosing, making a choice. It was a mindfulness game. So Monopoly, the game, is about, I think, the life that we have and its unknown as yet future. Because we roll the dice of opportunity. Chance to pick up some money, a chance to pay some money. In other words, I call it the mind game. So, moving on into science of mind, Ernest Holmes says in the textbook, and I quote, "Know your own mind. Know your own mind. Train yourself to think what you wish to think. Be what you wish to be. Feel what you wish to feel. And place no limit on principle." The science of mind is a study of the principles of spirit. The principle of being, with a capital B. So, spiritual principle defines as a truth which is unchangeable. Thus, the more we know our own mind, our own truth of our self, our spiritual self, our greater is showing up in our life. What is that greater? Something that we have yet to move around and discover. Moving around the board game of life. Playing the mind game of spirit requires a deeper look inside yourself. Sounds heavy, doesn't it? But it's really kind of fun. It's really kind of fun. Because I learned in this teaching that when we look inside ourselves and something maybe not so tasty shows up, it's an opportunity. An opportunity to look into that. We don't have to be that, but we have to, we get the opportunity to examine it and to see how it has served us and to bless it. Thank you. Thank you for blessing me because it got me here. And then bless it on its way if it's no longer needed, right? Henry David Thoreau wrote this: "Direct your eye inward, and you'll find 1,000 regions in your mind, yet undiscovered. Travel them and be expert in home cosmology." Isn't that a great word? Cosmology. Let's say that. Cosmology. Now what? What's that? Well, cosmology deals with the physical situation that is the context in the large, the greater, for human existence. The universe has such a nature that our life is possible. So the greater, the large, is the possibility. This means that although it is a physical science, it is of particular importance in terms of its implications for human life. So the more we direct our eye inward and see how we tick, how we roll, we can examine the implications that have been for us. As I said earlier, the big it, which is truth, lies just below the surface, like the toad. In our book, You're Redefining Moments, Dr. Jones writes, the action of mindfully slowing down and having a meaningful conversation with yourself will automatically open the door to a redefining moment, allowing you a deeper look into who you really are at your center, far beyond what the ego has to say. How will you know you are talking to your authentic self rather than the ego? The authentic self will never lead you to believe that you have anything to defend, prove, or be puffed up about, because your true identity is not determined by what your ego or the world has to say about you. End quote. I love that. Choice, again. So, I learned many years ago in this teaching an acronym for ego, edging God out. Or, and we'll leave it at that. Next time. Stay tuned. Ego equals, in my lesson today, unhealthy mind games. Ego. I've told you when I go visit my family on holidays back in Atlanta, there's a large group of all of us. It's quite a tribe. And they say, Uncle, do your toast. So I do a blessing and then I do my toast. And you've heard it before and I'm going to say it again. Here's to this year's family dysfunction. What does that mean? We all have stuff. We all have ego. We all have love. We all have whatever we have going on. Just don't be mean about it. You don't have to use that. Not here. Just be yourself and we'll love you. They go, okay. It's taken 4 or 5 years, but I think they're finally getting it. You know? Okay. So we're getting rid of our ego for a moment here, spirits. So it's time to play the mind game. Who wants to play? Oh yeah? Don't be afraid to raise your hand, because I'm going to call on you. I'm going to ask James to come up and assist me. Thank you, James. This is James. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. And he's holding in his bag treats. Notice it's a frog bag, because we're bringing the frog up and out into the light, to the surface. And what I would invite 6 volunteers to come up and choose what it is as an affirmation, all right? A statement of truth. Now, and don't read it out loud, but if you can stand right up here still, okay. Just down here is fine. Good. Thank you. Okay, there's 3. 4. Okay. Oh, good. One more. There's, oh, hi, great. Okay. And would you bring up the house lights, please? Yeah. May be seated. Okay, so I would like each of you to read what it says, not out loud, just to yourselves. Okay, do that now. And I would like you to look around the room. And who does that remind you of? Who is the connection for that affirmation in your mind? And then give it to them. Oh, all right. Thank you. Take your time. There's no... Well, it is for you because you chose it. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have... What's the old thing? You have to give love away to... They're not here? Oh, well. Is there a second choice? Not me. I already have one. Well, there you go. All right. So, those who received, open. And what does yours say, Connie?
It says, I live my life with abundance and authority.
I live my life with abundance and authority.
Thank you, Sharon.
Who's next? In my mind, thoughts of love, joy, and wisdom flourish. Who? Yes. I'm a demonstration of Spirit's magnificence. Ooh. Anybody else? Michelle. I release judgment of myself and others. I'm next, right? Okay. Okay, go. Yes, Tony? I speak words of love and compassion to all. And mine says, I see myself, capital S, in all I see. And I do. And I do. So what was that all about? What was that all about? What was the purpose of that? Good, you're wondering. You're wondering. No. You have an idea? Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes others see the things in you that you don't necessarily see yourself.
Mm-hmm. Right. Anything else? It's done with mirrors. That's right. It is the way we operate and can live and can move in our lives by seeing something of ourselves in all others. And that is probably the best mind game that I know. And being aware of what I'm seeing. If I'm seeing something, oh, wow, look at that outfit. Ugh. I used to do that. Yesterday. But we get caught up in that, don't we? And it just kind of rolls up. Here's one of those unknown things that kind of rolls up from the depths of our toad. And so anyway, thank you for participating in that. And when you were wondering, that's very important because wonder keeps us moving forward. It keeps our eyes open. It keeps our perception keen. And we are then able to receive something greater. That, in truth, has been there all along, as evidenced by the song. To be in wonder, according to St. Merriam-Webster, is to be curious about. To be curious about. It's curious about our ways in mind. Our curiosity is an avenue of our divine unfoldment. It keeps that doorway open. Today is Palm Sunday. Quite a doorway, quite a path, that story. And the laying down of palms for Jesus to walk upon, to line the path, the symbology of Jesus as the spiritual self being supported along the path to transformation 7 days later. Transformation. We're on the path all the time. Today's a reminder to begin the path over and over for transformation. The mind game is not about surviving. It's thriving. The Antelope Valley Desert is a thriving, alive system, we found out. But you have to be willing to see it. Are you willing to delve into what lies beneath your existing experience? Look for the toad. Are you letting God's secrets, your divine expression, be known? You must ask for it to receive it. Your purposeful self is who you are in this life. Use your mind, the one mind, the God mind that we all are. It's all one, and you and I are its divine incarnations. A bright light, a warm heart, a sweet smile. In this thing called You, the book of the year for our center, Ernest Holmes wrote, "Learn to be at home in the universe. No more loneliness, no more isolation. See God in everyone. The same God with a different face, the same animating principle with a different form, the same divine presence, clothed in individual expression." Whew, he could write. He could write. Never gets old. It's always fresh, like our experiences. So, a reminder. So, as I close out my lesson today, I'm going to share the words again from Dennis Merritt Jones. And he writes, "Every human being has the desire and right to pursue the following: air to breathe, clean water, adequate food, a safe shelter and living environment, good health, law and order, belongingness and a sense of connection to others." We felt that today. Love, self-esteem, and a sense of purpose. And the final one, personal fulfillment through self-actualization. Remember, beloveds, there's a lot of good just below the surface of you. Remain curious. Keep the door of your mind open. Let your authenticity out. And let's play. And let's play. Now is the moment. And we, you and I, are the ones. Namaste. And so it is.